Hi kids, my name is Richard. I thought I'd use a Femi style greeting for once. Hope that you liked it. And in the manner of Kernel demo, right, so what is this video about then? Sorry. So yeah, democracy and all that. As some of you may know, I had a website designed, democracy.org, but I lost the domain name because my credit card changed and I forgot about it and things got messed up and away it went. And then to compound the error, I actually deleted the WordPress database with all the wording on it, so I just lost everything. And for a software engineer not to pick it back up and do that is just a bit odd, really. Anyway, this is my video to make up for it, which may perhaps be more effective because it's a bit more emotive. So, as a former software engineer, I look at, well, when I was an engineer, early in my career, I looked at Parliament, House of Commons. I actually went to visit there as a what do you call them, on a guided tour. There's about, I think it was 8 people there, but a couple of Americans, Japanese, and a few others, and me. And I already knew from TV that I got this. I find it hard to believe that these things happen when you look at them. What do people think of? You look at the House of Commons, the structure of it, the whole government thing, Parliament. You've got government benches, and they're split down the middle, an aisle towards the Speaker's chair, and the official opposition benches. And when you think as I do that the purpose of government is to manage the country, and no sane manager would ever adopt a structure like that. No, Elon Musk is perhaps a bit dodgy, but a bit questionable sanity, but even he wouldn't do that. There's no way to manage anything like a country. It's insane. You got two parties essentially, or not two groups, two tribal groups often, based on tribal voting patterns and so forth, and supporters, fighting each other at the highest levels of society. It's an astonishing way to do things. I just don't get how people can still accept it. Especially they know it's tribal. Many people have said it's tribal. Look at that. But don't seem to get the actual implications of it being tribal. This kind of strange, limited thinking people that seem to wait for some kind of leadership, I think it is, or waiting for somebody in the group to actually tell them what to do or to give the lead. It's very, very disturbing way of being. And so, they know it's tribal, they know it's wrong, but they don't bother to find out why it's wrong, what the reasons are. They don't do much deeper. It's quite obvious, but there's fundamental split in Parliament, which means there's constantly the whole country split. It's just inevitable. And you get chaos and division all the way down. It's a crazy system. In fact, speaking as a software engineer, if someone has to design a democracy that was one in name only, this will be it. This is democracy in name only. Because the wealthy people who down south, in the deep south, as I put it, the lords and ladies in other place, and their mates in this place. Just money, privilege, status, bling, who you know, networks, not what you know. There's no science in that place. There's no sites in government. There's no sites in Eastern hardly. I know because I met some of the sixth formers from there. They told me. Yeah, there is physics taught, I think, but the boys doing that stuff like chooses geeks or secondary to oiks. Yeah, that's the great unwashed, the plebs. So the Italian types who go on to be leaders of industry or media or parliament or whatever have absolutely no idea what science means at all. Barely anything. All I know is how to debate, how to argue, and how to lie even. That's all I know. How to fake things, how to fudge things. How to do loyalty. How to do confidence. That's all I know. That's all I know, apart from their knowledge of Greek history or whatever, or poetry, whatever Johnson did. It's just amazing. It's astonishing. And there's no science in journalism either, hardly. You'll struggle to find a journalist who's got any scientific background at all. Hardly any. And yet, it baffles me. It's supposed to be democracy, it's supposed to be civilised, it's supposed to be enlightened in some way or other, And then we've got this gaping hole. Really, really important one, massive one, of how best to manage the country, and we've got one of the worst ways you could ever devise. It's bonkers. So, to go on, as you may know, I think we should abolish the party system entirely and have individual MPs only. I think that can work. It sounds odd, I know, because you may ask, well, how do we form the government? Well, I think we use sortition, have MPs haven't been voted in. Then you can put themselves forward to be picked for ministerial posts. And that's done at random. Which means you still get to keep the representation ethos in our democracy. Because there's hardly any corruption or anything involved. It's difficult to, not impossible, it's much more difficult to have bias influence decision making. So that's my answer to that problem. I know it's hard, but it's unusual, but I think it could work. Because right now, we've got ministers who know bugger all about anything, which is actually fine in a way, because democracy does require that. A true democracy means anyone can get to be in charge, or as a representative of the poor, for example, or someone representing England. It's quite an odd way of thinking about things, but in terms of rights, I think it's all right. But it does require the ministers to actually listen to the civil servants, the experts, the ones who actually know their thing. That's their job, to actually understand these implications of legal changes, whatever they are, or whatever policies are proposed, and to advise on the best ways of implementing them. And maybe even to protect the Constitution, because there's a criminal activity going on, which there definitely is in Irish right now. It's obvious, sadly. Then I can well imagine that some civil servants might feel well within their rights to protest about that, to object, and even to be whistleblowers. I wouldn't blame them. I know it's difficult, but I can understand that approach. But I digress a bit. The whole system right now is just corrupt to the core. You're just asking for it, just begging for it. You basically got one party who represents the wealthy people of the world, this country, and others which represent the rest, run towards that money without so much influence, without so much power. And those with the influence and the power are bound to win over the long term. It's just inevitable. Because they persuade people to do daft things like vote for leaving the EU, for example. That's just crazy. They clear evidence for that conclusion. It was obvious before to those who actually thought about it. But Northern Ireland, for example, just bonkers issue, just cameras, just reckless. I do this again. So yeah, so how do we get any policies enacted if we don't have any? I also think we shouldn't have during elections. I think that's time wasting, diversion. It disrupts things. You don't need to. You've got individual MPs, no parties to vote for. It's just individual MPs, as it always should be and is, strictly speaking. But in practice, we vote for parties. But if you vote for an individual MP, then he or she is your conduit to the Westminster people in power, the government. And so they could propose policies on your behalf, behalf of their constituents, like housing, for example. It's bound to be one that's needs adjusting. Or we could have petitions which become more powerful, because right now, if you get 10,000 votes, you get a response from the government. If you get 100,000 votes, you get a debate in Parliament. I would want to make that stronger and have a vote after that debate. I'm not saying what kind of vote, just a vote. It's up to the parliamentarians to decide the details of the thing, but the actual principle of a vote, I think, could be part of a petition. So, for example, if you think some issues being left out and you get the necessary votes to support your petition, then you can launch one. And if you get enough votes for the good debate, you then get a vote in the end of it. So I think that's quite a significant change. It's power to people, as it were. And then other ways to get policies going. What are the ways? Well, the government itself can propose, of course. The third way, really. The people can, the MPs can, or the government can, and yeah, that'd be good. That one, or we could even have referenda on particular issues. So, if say we had a referendum on going green, in particular, insulating everything building site, say 62% of people voted for that, then the government would be more or less obliged to debate about that issue and a vote at the end of it. And the Parliament itself, I might have to move the building to maybe to the Greenwich 2000 thing, Millennium Dome, because it's circular. Might be a better way of having that Parliament there and do the other building to the English that lot. Lords and ladies, whatever. But yeah, we're bound to have groups still forming. Like that, that's fine. It's bound to happen. It's inevitable and natural. You can have a group for about green concerns or policies towards people who are physically disabled, or best discussion around limited about, or groups about transport or NHS, anything like that, families if you wish, or communities, anything at all, I don't mind, it's fine. But what those groups won't have is any kind of voting power behind them. Of course, that's what political parties have. They have the mandate of the electorate to say, "Oh, we've got some real power now. We've got the authority to perceive this nonsense, what it is, because they voted for it." But these specialist groups, which is bound to be there, wouldn't have such powers. You'd be better organised and maybe have a spokesperson to actually put forward policies. But that's fine. That's not a problem. So yeah, that's my view of how things should be. More unified form of government. Political parties is that disaster. We see that every day. It's obvious. You get these insane MPs who talk absolute bollocks just because of the party line. It's really like children. Because I mean, your team now, you can't hide my ball hair and then. It's just crazy stuff. Just utterly irrational, childish, bonkers way of managing anything. I don't know, I just stunned by it, frankly. Is it just me who thinks this way? Well, please let me have your comments. I appreciate feedback of all kinds, and yeah, could be negative, could be you idiot, whatever, but keep it respectful, please. And like if you wish, or dislike if you wish, feedback, and publish the thing, speak about it, spread the word, Twitter, whatever, TikTok. I might try that for shorts. We'll see. Yeah. Thank you for your time as always, and see you later. Bye.